I'm Dave McHugh for D3report.com, and this is my D3 report from Mustang Stadium at Stevenson University in Owings Mills, Maryland, where the Mustangs blew a 24-14 lead, losing to Kings 31-24. This was a game really of two different halves. Stevenson led 17-14 at halftime, got an interception return 56 yards by Trayvon Wilkes to take the 24-14 lead very early in the third quarter. But then Kings responded. Patrick Robinson with a touchdown off of a 80-yard drive in just 5 plays in 2:11. Kind of strange for Kings. We'll get to that in just a minute. Very quick drive for them. That drew them within 3. They then would get the fumble return and score off of that to make it 24-14, the fumble on the ensuing kickoff. And then Mulville, 23-yard field goal, iced the game 31-24. Stevenson late in the game had a final play, that a hook and lateral that they tried to execute to no avail. We'll talk about that play in just a minute. The big story here from Stevenson University is actually the Kings defensive lineman Ron Garrett coming in 4 touchdown defensive returns in 4 straight weeks. He got a 5th one today, that one coming in the second quarter very early on. Stevenson had to sub in their backup quarterback, Jack Jefferson. His very first play from scrimmage, he sacked, fumbles the ball bounces into Garrett's hands. He picks it up at the 20, hesitates, he says, because he didn't have a good grip on the ball, and then runs it in for the touchdown. That would actually give Kings a 14-0 lead. But again, Garrett 5 straight touchdown returns in 5 straight weeks. It's an amazing stat for him. Certainly no one knows if that has ever been done in college football. He also finished the game with 6 total tackles, 1 sack, and 2 tackles for a loss on top of the fumble return for a touchdown. Back to the final play of the game, it was about the only sour note on what was a really tough battle. Hard-hitting, really good game between these two teams, despite the fact that Stevenson had a 10-point lead and couldn't hold on to win. Final play ended with a lot of pushing and shoving, and both teams clearing the bench and into the middle of the field. It was a sad note to finish what I thought was a very good game here at Mustang Stadium. No word on what the ramifications out of this will be, but certainly people will be looking at tape. Final stats for Kings. Leading rusher was Kyle McGrath. He once again did it to the Mustangs. Only 81 yards, but he hurt them in the second half. Patrick Robinson had 77 yards and a touchdown, and Tom Hare with 58 yards. Passing, it was Hartraft, 177 yards on 12 for 24 with 1 interception. That interception was returned for a touchdown by Stevenson. He did throw for a touchdown. McGrath even had a throw in there for a 1-yard touchdown. Great play, ran into the line, and Tim Tebow-esque jumped up over the line and threw it into the end zone. It was a terrific play by McGrath. Receiving, Dan Kempa, 67 yards and a touchdown. McGrath also had 70 yards himself, and Jay Thomas had 3 catches for 34 yards and a touchdown. For Stevenson, led on the ground by Marcus Holly, 101 yards for Holly and a touchdown. Zach Jefferson, the quarterback, ran 9 times for 2 yards. He actually ran 4 times, I should say. Again, Jefferson came in for Gasparovic. Gasparovic, we are told, went to the hospital to get looked at for a possible broken wrist, I believe, or ribs. Gasparovic was only 1 for 2 at the time for 4 yards. Jefferson comes in, 14 for 24, an interception, 158 yards, and a touchdown. Jeremy Miller was his favorite target, 4 catches, 52 yards to lead the cause there. Again, Stevenson had a 24-14 lead early in the third quarter. They lose it all. Kings wins 31-24 on a day that ended with a bit of a brawl on the field, but started with Ron Garrett's 5th touchdown return in 5 straight weeks for the defense. We'll certainly hear more about that play as the weeks go on. I'm Dave McHugh for D3report.com. This has been my D3 report, and I hope to see it on D3report.com.